Hi, I'm Deb, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Yoga Bites with Deb. Today it's the end of the summer, and it was just a beautiful day. I thought I'd come outside again and take a few moments to share with you on the mat. I'm focusing on poses lying on our belly, which we will come into more back bending, so strengthening through the backside, but and opening up through the front a little bit, and different postures like cobra and locust. So I hope you'll join me in child's pose. Come into child's pose. Extend your arms way out in front. Shift your buttocks back and lower your forehead to the mat. Taking a few deep breaths here. Expanding into the back side of the body, into the back of the ribs, into the low back. And then lifting our head up, extending those arms way out in front. Belly is in as we come forward. And we're going to sink our hips slowly down. Come down onto the belly. Take our hands beside our shoulders. Hover them over the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Press the feet into the mat. Belly into the mat. Pubic bone into the mat. And then lift up. Baby cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Release down. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Lower your hands down. Press back into your child's pose. Connect with the breath. Lifting your head up, drawing that belly in, shifting yourself forward and back onto your belly. This time into our half locust pose, taking your hands by your sides, press the palms into the mat. You're going to keep your head onto the mat, draw that belly in, and lift just one leg up. Hold it up and breathe. So you're not needing to lift it high. You don't want to lean on one hip to lift it higher. Keep your hips level. Strengthening the buttocks, the low back here. Lower that leg down. Nice inhale. Exhale. Lift the other leg up. Hold and breathe. Lower down. Belly's in. See if you can lift both legs up. Pressing those hands into the mat. If you like, try lifting your chest up. Release down. Press yourself back to your child's pose. Really breathe into the low back here. Extending those arms way forward, coming all the way back onto your belly once again. This time bringing your hands just below the shoulders, nice and close to the ribs. Roll the shoulders back. Press the feet into the mat. Belly is in. Press the pubic bone into the mat. So it's almost like you start with your forehead on the mat, and it's like you're going to roll with your nose, a little marble out of the way. Shoulders are rolled back. So rolling the marble forward, and then start to peel the chest up. And you could stay with that baby cobra or press into the palms. Come up a little higher. Keep the elbows in. Keep the pubic bone down. And then release yourself back down. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale. Start to move that marble forward as we come up. Take a breath here. Release back down. One more time. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale. Push the marble forward as we come up. Keep the elbows close. Keep the pubic bone on the mat. And then release all the way down. Push yourself back. Rest in your child's pose. Breathe into the low back. So you might notice we're doing these little back bending motions. You might feel a little tension in the low back. So we want to Really connect with the breath. Fill up that low back with the breath. Expand into the low back with your breath. Stretch those arms forward. Let's come forward again. All the way down onto that belly. This time we're going to take our hands either by our sides, palms up, or see if we can interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades back. Press the palms down in the way. Belly is in. Come into our locust pose. Lift the legs up. Lift the chest up. Reach those arms. Stretch and breathe. Release down. Nice inhale. Side out. Coming again, clasp the hands. Let's clasp them the other way. Might feel a little awkward. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. Belly is in. Lift the chest. Reach the arms down the body. Float the legs up. And release all the way down. Slowly press yourself back to your child's pose. Again, breathe into that low back especially. Lengthening those arms forward, slowly coming all the way back onto your belly. This time coming into our fingertip cobra. If it doesn't work for you, fingertip cobra, come into any cobra variation. Fingertip cobra, we like to bring our hands wider than the mat onto those fingertips. Roll the shoulders back so you can't see my fingertips as they sink into the grass here. Roll those shoulders back, elbows about as high as those shoulders. Once again, press the feet into the mat, pubic bone into the mat, belly is in. Inhale, let's lengthen up. So I actually don't put a lot of pressure into my fingers. And then release down. Roll those shoulders back. Let's see if we can lengthen up. Maybe we can hold. Maybe you want to turn. Look over your right shoulder. Dip your left shoulder towards the mat. Get a nice stretch in. Lift up. Twist the other way. Dip that right shoulder down. Come up. Release yourself down. And press yourself back to your child's pose. Coming all the way forward, all the way down. We're going to bend both of our knees. So we're going to come into some variations for our bow pose. So we'll start just with the feet maybe flexed, either arms by your side, or you could clasp them. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, belly's in. Lift the chest up, lift the thighs up, reach your arms down the body. So we're lifting up, breathing. Release down. All right, you could do that again, or if it's available to you, bend your knees and reach back and grab for your feet or your ankles. You make sure the knees aren't too wide, bring them about hip distance apart. Belly is in, press the pubic bone into the mat. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, press the feet into our hands, and see if you can lift your chest up. And then you press the feet into the hands and you lift the thighs up. So again, if this doesn't work for you, maybe you can't reach those ankles, that's okay. Clasp those hands or just take your palms by your side. Keep breathing. This is a challenging little back bend. And then release down. Slowly press yourself back into your child's pose. Really breathe into the low back. And then from here, we're actually going to see if we can come into upward facing dog. So I'm going to extend my arms way out. Actually, let's come onto our hands and knees. Extend those arms a little bit in front of your shoulders. So we're going to sink those hips forward. Sink those hips forward. Sorry, my hands were too far away. Sink, 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 sink. So my shoulders are over my wrists here, but my hips, they're not sinking all the way to the mat. They're lifted off the mat. You can curl the toes under so your belly is in, and see if you can float the legs off the mat so you're hovering. So I hope you can see that. It's a little bit more challenging in the grass here. It's not level. I'm sinking into the grass, but that's okay. It's a little added challenge. Breathing, squeezing the shoulders blade back, feeling an opening, coming forward, and then lowering my knees down. I'm gonna press back to child's pose. So you can stay in child's pose if it feels good to you. Maybe you want to come into a downward facing dog, curl the toes under, knees up, push back, tilt the tailbone back. Belly is in, hug the elbows in. Lower those knees down. Come and have a seat. So just to counter all of those backward bending motions, we're going to come into a forward folding, rounding motion. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together, and I'm going to slide them forward so I make more of a diamond shape. And we're going to think tortoise. This is a variation on tortoise posture. The tortoise shell, we're going to round the spine as you come forward. You either place your hands on top of your shins. So my forearms are on top of my shins, and just tuck the chin in. Breathe into the back. Might feel perfect. Or you can go a little deeper. If you're able to get a little lower towards the mat, turn the palms up, tuck the hands underneath your ankles, your shins, so your forearms are on the mat. Round the spine and hold here. And just breathe and enjoy this counter pose here. Really stretching out the low back. And just surrender. Lengthen out your breath. No tension anywhere. And then we're just going to slowly come out of the posture. You can, of course, stay there as long as you like. But that is our yoga bite for today. Thank you so much for joining me on this gorgeous end of summer day. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.